Hey, let me know if you can. Yo, it's Bigfoot Scully. Oh boy. That whole nonsense. Okay, that's good there. Yeah, let's see. We got two people now, three people. Oh, not inspected though. Yeah, everybody, let me know if they can hear me. Okay. Before we get started. Yeah, hopefully everything is balanced all right here. Yeah, I'm waiting for one or two more people to show up, so just hang tight. This is the Super Game Boy version. So as we can see, the color palette is a little bit more limited than it would be on Game Boy Color. But there's all kinds of ways we can manipulate it. Let's see. Pwned Move is here. Eh? So you're from Canada? Grant says, never played this game. Is it a Game Boy Classic or just a money grab? You know, Grant, the thing about Pokemon Pinball is that the pinball... No, this is being played on Super Game Boy. The thing about Pokemon Pinball is that it reuses the engine of Kirby's Pinball Land. And the physics of that game aren't considered realistic, but it's considered to be a fun pinball game. So I think it's fun. The second Pokemon Pinball has better physics, though. But I've had a lot of fun with this game. There's a lot of random stuff that you may not necessarily be able to get over. The game requires a lot of practice, and you're not going to be able to catch all the Pokemon in one go. I mean, let's see. I've had this since this came out, summer of '99 in the U.S. Let's see how many Pokemon I have. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See, I'm missing Venusaur. It looks like I have a decent number of stuff. Okay. We'll start it. So there's two tables. Red and blue. The blue one's looking a little red because we're playing on Super Game Boy and the palette's just a little bit more limited. But Pwned Move, I'm assuming that's how we pronounce her name. This is being played off of my childhood cartridge and my Super Game Boy. This is not an emulation. So there's two tables, the red table and the blue table. We'll see my luck on the red table. And then for the skill shot, when I press the button, it's going to select a game area from Pokemon Red and Blue to start us off with. Let's see. Must be nice to stream this. How many chords are around? You mean all my chords to get my stuff set up? If that's what you mean, it's a bit messy having Super Famicom, NES Classic, all my computer stuff, my capture device. It's a bit messy. The way I make it work is that I only have one console plugged in when I'm using it. Don't want to start a fire. Okay, so this is a nice elongated skill shot here. So when I press the button, it'll select an area randomly from Pokemon Red and Blue. And then the Pokemon I run into in the Get Pokemon mode will be based on the area from the game. So enough stalling, let's get into it. Start in Viridian Forest. And the ball saver of this game is pretty generous. It's about 60 seconds with per life. Oh, see, that sucked. Yeah, I heard old consoles are difficult to stream. It depends. The more cables, the more hassle. I've had a few issues with bottlenecking when I stream Super Famicom, but I think I've gotten it pretty consistent recently. Alright, Pikachu saved my ball. And that sound clip of Pikachu going Pika takes up a lot of the game's memory just for that one compressed little sound clip. Oh, that sucks. But at least we have the ball saver. And the way I press the flippers will manipulate the cave in which the pinball goes into. And will also manipulate my Pokeball. Later I'll be able to upgrade my Pokeball if I manipulate that correctly. I recognize that clip from Yellow. It's a lot cleaner in this game though. Yeah, getting I think her name is Aiku Otani's voice. Getting them in the games, it takes up quite a bit of the memory space just to get a recording in there. There's a lot of bonus modes in this game. There's a little crap. There's a little bit more to it than what you might see. But this is a pretty rough start. Alright, hurry up. I can change my game location if I get 3 hits in there. This doesn't look good. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get it. That sucked. How long are these streams? It really depends on my availability and my interest. Right now, I wanted to see where I could do with this in about an hour. Pwn Move, how did you find our channel? I'm not sure. I think I've seen you in the subscriber box on YouTube before, but I'm not sure how you might have found us. Let's see, Grant says, There's one Game Boy Color game that has a compressed CGI short film for its intro, something army themed. I can't say I know what you're talking about. So yeah, Pwn Move, it really depends on my mood and my availability. But right now, I want to see if I can push this for another 50 minutes. An hour of pinball? I just searched Pokemon. I got lucky. Okay. So the game of tonight is luck. Pinball requires a little bit of luck. YouTube requires a little bit of luck, I say. Okay, so because I cleared the Ditto of the cave by going through the left track so many times, I can now get Rattata to evolve, which will count as another Pokemon I get. Oh, that sucked. So first I need to go to one of those places and then look for the little EX icons. And that will turn Rattata into Raticate. That was very fortunate. Finally I can get the experience thingy. Good. I don't know if I can be around for an hour. Pinball, not my cup of tea. Well, you know, no one's forcing you. Nice to have new people stop by, in any case. Now I get to the Doug Trio bonus stage. When the game detects that you caught 3 Pokemon, that allows you to get bonus stage. Every 3 Pokemon, you get a bonus stage. Because I evolved Rattata to Raticate, it counts as extra Pokemon. I thought it was an extra one, not 2. I'm not sure how that worked out. I have not played this game in a while. Oh, that stunk. That blows my opportunity to move, sadly. But let's see what's in the cave. And that is the end of the the run, unfortunately. Okay, well, Pwn Move, hopefully you find something that you like. Appreciate you stopping by. I'll be streaming Xbox again Tuesday and Thursday if this isn't up to your liking. But thanks for checking us out. Good to see you, Bradley. You missed me play very badly on the red table. Let's try to give this another shot. Start in Lavender Town. Let's find some ghost Pokemon. A Mankey is not a ghost. Yeah, Bradley, inspired by one of our conversations from earlier, just wanted to stream a little bit of pinball. Just need a few more Voltorb hits. Or rather, one more Voltorb hit. There we go. Now, another interesting thing to note, this is one of the few Game Boy games that has a rumble feature. Unfortunately, the rumble is not compatible with Super Famicom, but it has its own little battery slot for you to get some vibrations out of your Game Boy. Let's see, another game I can think of that had rumble was Top Gear Rally for Game Boy Color, which is a game I really wanted to own, but never got it. Okay, that was very close. That the ball saver was there. So Bradley, since you're here, do you have any memories of Pokemon Pinball of this game? Oh, that was crazy. For the record, I tilted it from underneath the table to save the ball. That's how I save that. I didn't think that would happen though. He's a Pokemon wizard. There's gotta be a twist. He's a Pokemon wizard with such a supple. Okay, I don't understand that. Bradley says, I played all the time, was my first game ever. Not a bad place to start. It really isn't. My first Game Boy game was Kirby's Pinball Land, so it all ties everything together. Pinball, it seems. Let's see what Bradley has to say. Oh yeah, sorry. I should have known that. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me, Grant? I was listening to Tommy again about a year ago. There's a song in one of the Ninja Turtles games that rips off Pinball Wizard. If we have time, I'll pop that in later, just to show you. Okay, let's see. Bradley says, I got it through my see-through Game Boy Color, which was my first handheld / console. When I was younger, I used to like the blue board more because you could evolve Pokemon easier, but I like the red board better because of the physics and the mini games. Yeah, when I'm older, the blue board seems to be a lot easier. Alright, and since I went through the gate on the left a few times, I can evolve Mankey. Let's see. I remember my bro telling me Pinball episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark messed me up with how much it scared him. Bradley says Are You Afraid of the Dark ruined me when I was 6. You know, Are You Afraid of the Dark and Goosebumps and those types of shows were seemingly scary when you're younger. And I don't think they hold up in the scare department when we're older. But I think Are You Afraid of the Dark is a little bit scarier than Goosebumps. Goosebumps is just dumb, but it's funny now. I vaguely remember the Are You Afraid of the Dark series finale, and I seem to remember that being somewhat mature for what it was. Making a horror show for children is seemingly an oxymoron. Pokemon is tired. The game has an excuse not to spawn the experience points. Pokemon recovered. Now, how about we get those experience points already? Alright, excellent. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, Bradley says, I actually liked the pinball episode when I was young, even as a kid. I remember the scene when the kid went to the fountain in the mall after hours and took all the coins from it. I always wanted to do that as a kid. I vaguely remember that episode. Cardboard Walk. Goosebumps doesn't hold up very well, but there was an episode I saw where there was an old lady trying to turn boys into old men so that she could marry them. It had a gross pedo tone. There's one episode that I think is really stupid of Goosebumps these days. I think it's called My Friend is Invisible or something. That episode has a funny dumb ending. I'll leave that there. It's even stupider than the ending on the book. Well, it is the ending from the book, but done stupid. And shit. Once again, did not pass the Diglett stage. And my ball became a great ball because all the lights on top of the Voltorbs lit up. And you can manipulate that by pressing the flipper buttons. When your Pokeball upgrades, you get more points anytime you hit anything. So that's all good. I just let it fall. Alright, let's capture this poor bastard. Grant says, Calling All Creeps was my favorite episode because it had the rare bad ending in a Goosebumps book, which made it stick. You're gonna have to refresh my memory, because I was rereading Goosebumps about 2 years ago, but I don't remember that for the life of me. Yeah, just going by my perception here, the targets in this game seem pretty tiny, and that combined with the fact that the physics aren't as refined as they are in Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire, just makes me wonder. That was barely saved. There is a secret society of lizard people trying to transform people into slaves. That sounds familiar. when the Goosebumps movie with Jack Black was coming out, my friend Matt was saying that he was hoping it would be about a giant G that infects people and makes them evil, and that the Goosebumps theme song would be in it, but that was not to be. Alright, let's get in that cave. There we go. Now I'm at Rock Mountain. Very David Icke. I don't know who that is. It's hard to read and play pinball at the same time. I find it ironic that Bellsprout's on the red table, because you can't catch a Bellsprout in red. Small. David Icke is the guy who made the lizard people conspiracy theory. Lizard Man, Lizard Man, and Lizard Man. It's my take on it. Okay, we're doing much better than last time. And by we, I mean me. You guys don't deserve any credit. Alright, good, good, good. Let's evolve Cubone. Where are those experience points? It's a really obnoxious place for them. Maybe I'll drop the ball and use the skill shot to get the thing in there. Still got the ball saver going. Oh, was it working? Nah. By the way, guys, thanks for, come on, get the stupid thing already. Spectating the early version of the Injustice video, it's given me a little bit of reassurance. I was afraid that it was coming out crappy, and then no one would want to see it, but, the feedback's been pretty positive, for the most part. From who I showed it to. Come on, we want to get that Marowak. So you get ground up by a Marowak. Bradley said, Cubone was my favorite Pokemon by proxy. I think he had a crush on the girl who had him in the anime. I don't remember what girl had Cubone in the anime. Riley says, when I was a kid, one of my friends and I thought the EX stood for extra. So we read it as extra, 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 as if it was a newspaper special that this Pokemon was evolving. The manual says experience points, if I remember that correctly. That was a lucky save. It was the ghoul, the girl from the School of Hard Knocks. That episode. It seems to come back every so often. That episode. There we go. The Doug Trio in the back looks sad. I'll take him out of his misery. Oh. Oh wait, okay, I beat it, okay. I was afraid I lost for some bullshit reason that doesn't make any sense. Let's see, it was the only girl Ash had a Brock moment with. Yeah, I remember. You know, we're talking about the... Ooh, Mr. Mime. Let's see if I get him. We were talking about Pinball Wizard earlier, which is from Tommy by The Who. Conversation with my friend Michelle from a few years back. She had suggested that every major rock opera from the 60s to 70s, there has to be some kind of theme about a rebirth of fascism and the protagonist either stopping fascism or being part of it. Like Pink Floyd's The Wall. Do we have any opinions about that? Anybody? I can't deny it. Big bonus. You know, I kind of wanted to go to the Ghastly stage. Bonus multiplier of 10. That's good. Now, well. I hate the Diglett minigame. If you hit the last Stoke Trio too hard, it goes straight down the center and ends the game, and then you just automatically lose. You know, I don't know if I hit it 3 times. I mean, the game says that I cleared it, but I honestly don't know if I won or not. I'm gonna pretend that I won. If I get the Ghastly bonus stage, I'll change the color palette. Because unfortunately we have a limited color palette here. Oh, you bastard. Joe's Garage deals more with music censorship, but I feel it's a sardonic take on the concept album formula. I can see both of that. I think the one thing, Joe's Garage would be a masterpiece album to me if it weren't for the central scrutinizer voice that Frank Zappa does throughout it. I think it's really annoying. That was incredibly close. Aside from that, almost everything about that album is perfect for me, more or less. I've always thought the icon for Pokemon in this game looked like a little ET type alien. It makes him look otherworldly. Next time I stream Game Boy, I was thinking about doing Pokemon Gold, since we cleared the Generation 1 games. Well, I cleared it, you guys watched. And I wasn't sure if you guys wanted me to try to manipulate the time in that file, or... that's game over. Or if you wanted me to just put in the real time and try to play the game simultaneously with real time. That could have been better, but whatever. I wish there was a quick way to see how many... Okay, I got 107 Pokemon, okay. So I didn't do as bad at this as I thought I did. I put my time in. Grant says I'm more a fan of his Mother's Invention stuff. I think that stuff is funny, but not as good musically. Okay. Bradley says, I think it was about getting a psychic type because it looked like the symbol on the cards. I could see that. I can very much see that. So as we're moving to the blue table, I'm going to make the color palette blue. Let's see. Is that... No, that seems a bit too harsh. That almost works. A periwinkle type color. And we'll make the secondary color yellow. That's a little bit too bright for my eyes. Something a little lighter. Yeah, no. I guess I'll stick with the beige. And let's go. So what I'm told is that this table is just a lot easier. Go the other way. Come on, get in there. There we go. Let's see, GL. Hey Ryan, I don't know what GL means. I'm doing my own thing, so catch you next time. I plan on doing 2 more streams next week, so hopefully you will catch me. As long as our stuff doesn't conflict. It will, but I don't want it to. Alright, let's read some comments. Blue and yellow like the old Mega Man box art. Ah, you caught me. I like the blue board since it had Celadon City, which is the only place you could get Eevee, and had the random evolution if you chose to evolve it. Oh, good luck. Okay. My second guess was Green Lantern. You know, Bradley, I didn't know that. That's interesting. I'm finding out new things about this game all the time. I've been playing this for about 40 minutes straight, and it's surprisingly still entertaining. So, what did you guys think of my idea? I was gonna try to do a run of my Pokemon Gold version. I wanted to know what you guys thought about that before I do that. If I should do that um, in the time it is in the real world, or try to manipulate the clock game events. I played it religiously, maybe even into high school. This game was developed by Jupiter, who also developed the sequel, and if I'm not mistaken, one of the Kingdom Hearts games for Game Boy Advance. The battery on my Silver is dead, and I kind of want to do a run to see how far I get, but so far I haven't had the time to do that. But, what a load of crap. Yeah, Bradley, I'm not sure what interesting stuff I would bring to the table. I'm not an expert on the game, so I just like to play them. Looks like an intrigued eyebrow. It especially does with the limited color palette we have here. Was a very lucky save. This game is very generous with the ball saves compared to a lesser known. That really sucks. The item bag was completely ruined. Bradley thinks I'm interesting. That's neat. What was it talking about? So compared the ball saver to a game like the lesser known Super Pinball Behind the Mask, that was a nice save. I think the ball saver of that game is barely 20 seconds. So this game is very generous with the ball saves. I got the Japanese version of that recently. That game is more interesting to me than it is good. Getting some nice underneath the table saves. Arrived at Cerulean City. but let's hit the shelter. Okay. This is a remix of the Japanese anime season 1 theme. Definitely a nice Easter egg for the Americans. And then one more hit. Anyone else think this table looks like a Chansey? Grant, what do you mean when you say the item bag was ruined? I'm intrigued. Because there's a few interesting glitches that are caused by the result of the item bag and memory corruption. Let us get Pokemon indeed. And I mean that serves as a bit of a pun because the song Pokemon Get to Does basically means let's get Pokemon. So it's a reference, not a pun. I use Game Shark way too much. Yeah, but what do you mean you ruined the bag? That doesn't entirely make sense to me. There's some ways with memory corruption where you can make slots appear that aren't supposed to be there, and that can allow you to access parts of the game's memory and manipulate the game that way. I should look up a YouTube video and show you how it's done. People who actually have skill and knowledge do that in ways that I cannot. Let's catch the little goldfish. By the way, how was the episode of Outlaw Star on Toonami last night? Did not get to see it. The item bag just got corrupted where there were empty slots and the font was all broken. Yeah, you might have manipulated parts of the game code tied to where it ties memory and other parts of the game. And the display got all funny because of that. That would be a memory corruption glitch. It was shocking. A lot of butts. I don't get it. I'm just mostly curious to see how they edited it. Because, I mean, I own the thing on DVD and Blu-ray. So my curiosity was satisfied a long time ago. I'm just really curious to see how it was edited on TV. Luckily, I recorded it, so maybe I'll find some time to watch it for real. Come on. I thought I could hit him. Okay, let's evolve Caterpie. I picked Caterpie because It was the first one there. Pokemon is tired. Yeah, I find one of the problems with this board is that the Cloister and the Slowpoke arrow just make things take too long. But I feel less like I'm gonna die any second like you would on the red table. Okay, one more experience. And that's game over. Aisha had no nipples. But other than that, I thought it was the real deal. Okay. I should have watched it just for the novelty of saying I saw the uncensored Hot Law Stars episode. It could be on Cartoon Network. I'll catch it eventually. I'm just mostly curious to see what they did with it. But I'm glad it aired on TV. I think the whole controversy around that episode is really artificial. I think I've told you guys when I actually saw it 16 years ago. That's not 16, that's going a little bit too far back. I think it was 2004. Yeah, 14 years ago. I thought it was really tame. I didn't, you know, the way people were making out to me were making it seem like it was a porno or or something. Guys, I'm a little disappointed. I really wanted to get to the Ghastly and the Mewtwo bonus stages. I would really like to be doing a little better. So I'm just gonna have to try harder. But this game reuses the engine from Kirby's Pinball Land, which I'm told is slightly random. That was really close. Grant says I'm kind of meh with the series, but episode was actually a lot of fun. I really like Outlaw Star. It's one of my favorites. I'm not too crazy about the ending, but I think the dub of that show is a lot of fun and it has a lot more character than the Japanese version, frankly. I feel like that show worked better for Western audiences than it did in Japan. I don't know how to describe it, but that show is just almost everything about it really clicks for me. I couldn't tell you why. It's more or less, I wouldn't say it is a perfect show for me, but something like that or Samurai Champloo, just in terms of the length and the stories, that all really clicks with me. I love shows like that where it's long enough for you to get attached to it, but it's also brief enough that you kind of want more, but the show is done in a satisfying way that if there was more, it would kind of harm what made it special. Now that being said, I think the final episode of Outlaw Star stinks. The absolute ending, the confrontation with the bad guys, I thought was neat, but the final conclusion, setting up a series that was never made, that's bullshit. I hate that. Fuck that. Everything else about the show I love. Kim says, I know it's one of Kim's favorites and doesn't know which character she'll be when she uses the avatar from it. She can be the crazy Chinese girl. I don't know her name, but you know who I'm talking about when I use those words. May not be accurate. May not be 100% politically correct, but you know who I'm talking about. She says Melfina fits the gimmick she'll go for, but thinks it's horribly boring. Well, I mean, the issue is she doesn't really act like a Melfina type. Melfina's a little bit more cut and dry than her internet personality. You got it. Come on, let's hit that polywag. There we go. Thank you, Pikachu. Evolving time. She wants to be the one that drinks tea. Suzuka? I think the main cast is pretty good, but Aisha's performance is phenomenal. Yeah, I think her name is Lenore Zahn, who also was also Rogue in X-Men the Animated Series. Not a lot of voice roles she's done, but I can't think of a one she did that wasn't good. She's had a very interesting career. She's been in stuff in Canada, New York, and Los Angeles. X-Men the Animated Series has a few issues with pacing, but that show had a really good voice cast for the principal cast anyway. There's a few of the characters of the day I don't really care much for. Come on, one more coin. Good. Excellent. Yeah, I think in anime dubs, I don't think they do the best job doing the cat girl routine, because that's a really, I don't think that's something that translates very well. But Lenore Zahn did a very good job, just making her be this feral creature. Really, it's great. And I've always liked Gene Starwin's voice. I think it's just a very natural performance. Unfortunately, the his voice actor Bob Buchholz, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, he would never do too many voiceover roles in his career, and would mostly be more of a consultant casting type guy. but he's still involved in the dubbing scene. He just doesn't do too many voiceover roles. He was in a really bad Resident Evil spin-off game called Resident Evil Outbreak 2. If anybody's seen a lot of my older videos, and you know I'm not talking about Software Agents Corp, I used some clips from that. It's pretty laughably bad. Grant, I'll send you some clips from it later if you don't already know what I'm talking about. It's really funny. I might try to get my hands on that game just to get all the story stuff. I felt that way with the original Yu Yu Hakusho regarding the main cast being really solid. I didn't know how to redub until recently. How was it redubbed? Was it like the Dragon Ball stuff where they kept some old voices and redubbed other voices? Because the DVDs for Season 3 onwards is kind of an odd mix of the tracks that played on Toonami and the old performances from 1999. It's a very odd hybrid. Because one of the cast members, the old narrator, before they replaced him, he left Funimation on bad terms. So they just redubbed all of his lines with Kyle Hebert. Buck Holtz was the director for both Devilman shows on Netflix. Yeah, he's mostly a producer, director, and talent coordinator now. He does not... I don't think he's done a voice role since, like, the mid-2000s. At least not to my knowledge. He might have. Me and Jing, we used to have this joke that, people, when we don't see them in shows anymore, that they become accountants. So when he stopped appearing in anime dubs, we made this joke. Well, maybe he became an accountant. I think the director, producer, talent wrangler path is a lot cooler than becoming an accountant. Last time I talked to my accountant, he was really boring. I love getting Cinnabar Island since it has the most Pokemon you can't get in the starting areas. It's good to be on a tropical vacation. And as we explored earlier, Ponytail Rapidash is one of the few Pokemon I didn't catch in the game. So if I could get Rapidash, that would make this worthwhile. Grant says he did a couple of teachers and civilians in the Devilman specials. I'll need to check them out. Yeah, when you say that the Yu Yu Hakusho stuff got redubbed, do you mean that... I'm asking if they used the old audio tracks, or if they redubbed... You say that they have the same cast. Did they do a mix of the older audio tracks? Is what I'm curious about. I'm not surprised that they would do that. I'm just curious how recently that was done, and how much of the old content is intact. Because the thing with Yu Yu Hakusho is that even though I watched it plenty, it's not something that I remember. Bonus stage seal. It's not something that I remember as well as other stuff. Give me one moment. I'm gonna go. I'm back. Thank you, Bradley, for being my announcer, essentially. Glad you told the accountant story. Okay, Jing is spying on us. That's great. Uh, yeah, it's not a bad place to stop. If only I can actually hit the seal. Yeah, so much show. I'm gonna go back to the accountant thing. One time when Jing told me he was gonna be an accountant, I wasn't sure if he meant it or not because it was a fallback on somebody if we didn't know what happened to them. They just stopped appearing and stuff. Yeah, this isn't too bad of a run I'm having here. I haven't lost any lives yet. I did really bad the first time I was doing the blue table, but we're doing better now. It sucks. But I can't see the chat now, but I see a few things about Yu Yu Hakusho. Funimation isn't too shy from doing George Lucas type revisionist history with some of their dubs to try to make continuity more clear across the board. Which is why some people are critical of them. Make of that what you will. Although they're generally pretty respectful when they acquire titles from older companies. I'm not too crazy about their subtitle font, though. Multiplayer 11, beautiful. Of course, that happens. They hate their original DBZ dub, which insulted all the changes. I mean, people are critical of it. They tried to fix it up, and I think with Kai, they've done a good job fixing it up. Awesome. Let's get Rapidash. Okay, there's one. There's two. Yeah, maybe somebody who's in the chat could explain what's the issue with the Toei audio recordings. I'm not talking to anybody in particular, though. Or am I? That's your cue, you know who? Oh. And I get a Rapidash. Awesome. The The dub is pretty rough at some points of the original Dragon Ball. Something that some of my friends are critical of is some of the dialogue. Goku has a habit of calling people big boys. The only characters I think who sound good are Yamcha, Tien, and Oolong. I mean, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. It took me a long time to finish the dub of Dragon Ball because for me it aired at the worst times. This was before DVR. I couldn't finish it until home video. Besides the 5 o'clock time slot, Seal Stage cleared. Besides that issue, later when the content got TV 14 and it moved to Saturday nights, I mean that sucked. I had no way of watching it. Why did the stuff I care about come on at the worst times? The woman who played Puar and Chaozu was a library. Yes, she sure was. I'm pretty sure she's done with all the voiceover business now. There's a troll in Bradley's comment things whose entire internet personality, I hope he's not listening to this because I'm adding fuel to the fire, who goes on about like a hatred of 4Kids, and at least once or twice he called Funimation's voice talent constipated Texans. And I think that's very funny. That's just I need to stop saying things before I get sued for inflammatory remarks. I should shut up because I know that guy watches my videos too. Okay, bad anime, if you're listening to this, please don't send me hate messages. I just want an explanation. Hopefully you're not listening to this. Okay, new topic. I don't want to get sued today. I'm playing this for a lot longer than I expected to be. You know, I'm I would be very happy if I could get to the Mewtwo bonus stage. I'm not sure how many Pokemon I'm short of doing it, but that would be cool. That's a bit of a challenge to get to. I've never got the Mew bonus, though. That is very difficult. This game doesn't give you a lot of ways to manipulate save data to try to get things. You have to be good at it. The way the save feature works in this game is similar to the quick save features in Game Boy Advance games. I got another Ponyta. You don't need more than one Pokemon, you just have to clear the Meowth and Seal stages. Okay. Oh! There we go. No, 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 you son of a piece of poke shit. That cave better still be open next life. I'm gonna be mad if it's not. Okay, it's still there. Okay, that's good. I thought you needed 9 Pokeball points already at the Mewtwo. Anytime you hit Mewtwo, you get a shit ton of points. So if I could get one of my old scores, that'd be cool. $1 billion points, alright. But go up, actually. Ah, well. Didn't clear it. But I got a lot of points. There's still time. I also can't say I know how to get extra lives in this. Oh! Pretty fortunate. Let's give it another shot. See, the joke is that's a pinball pun. What do the points do? It's like whose line is it anyway? It's all about bragging rights. I'm not sure if there's a way to actually win. I'm getting a lot of points here. That's cool. And we're done. You have to play for a long time without losing the round. I can't remember if there's a point total. Yeah, I've just always wondered if there was a way to catch Mewtwo. It's odd. If you saw my Pokedex earlier, I never actually got any of the legendary birds here. I think I could do it when I'm older, now that I can play with a mild degree of competence. Slot. I won Mewtwo many times before. It takes a lot of luck early on. Okay, I think Bradley, you're referring to getting extra lives, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, let us evolve Vulpix. Item not found. Piss off, mate. At my day job yesterday, some British lady said that I was a strapping young lad. So I'm being hit on by a 70-something British lady. That's interesting. Come on, let's get a lettuce evolve Vulpix. If you put lettuce in an oven, it will probably evaporate. And that's game over, unfortunately. I think I might have broken one of my old records. Yep. Second best score ever. Wow. Damn. Even better than Nintendo. And then I got Rapidash. Not too bad. Pretty productive overall. I think I want to go for one more round. Guess I'm going into overtime here, but let's give it one more shot. I don't like that pellet. Then another fun fact about Pokemon Pinball. One of the songs in this game, I don't remember what it was, but it would later be reused in Pokemon Gold and Silver, which is a nice little hint for a future game that's subtle. I'm not sure if it's repurposed music or if they meant for that to be a little feature cameo. I like stuff like that. It's all very neat. We got a Nidoran. I don't know how to manipulate the table as well as I'd like to with tilting. The way this game is easier than other pinball games. Of course, the irony is I say that after I just lost. Is that a lot of, like a Super Pinball, for instance. The way if you shake the table too many times in that game, it will give you a tilt. There is no tilt here. Grant says Nidoran, male and female, has to be some of the laziest naming ever. Well, you know, that was before genders were established, and that was their gimmick. Looking back on it with hindsight, it's, you know, it's not as interesting. I still like Nidorina and Nido King a lot, though. For some reason, Nidorina's always been one of my favorite Pokemon. I like her a little bit than Nido Queen. Just a little bit. Let's try to get an evolution in here. Oh wait, I don't have any Pokemon. How can I evolve? When I don't have anything. Volbeat and Illumise were more well thought out versions of the Nidorans. I mean, I guess in terms of the different gender gimmick, but I've always thought those two guys were pretty boring. This is terrible. This is a really bad run. Okay. Good thing we have the saber there. Ah, I thought I'd have it. Well, we're 90 minutes into this. This is a little bit longer than I thought I would do this. I might be willing to go a little bit longer if you guys want me to try something else. I like that Volbeat had Tail Glow, which was Nasty Plat before Nasty Plat. Okay. I can accept that. Yeah, I think I've showcased a surprisingly good amount of this game here. But I do think it's time to move on. So, what would you guys like to say? You say something about Ninja Turtles, right? Yeah. Let me go find that. Let's find that cartridge. Unfortunately, Super Famicom games don't have the end labels that NES stuff does. Yeah, let me go pop that in quickly. I will not play it for long because I'm terrible at it. Alright, get ready to refresh the stream. Alright, and we're back. Grant says you said something about Ninja Turtle ripping off Pinball Wizard. You know, Grant, that's a very interesting way to convey that idea. Turn up the game volume. Is that too loud? Where the hell is my other controller now? There we go.
Turtle combat!
Alright, I am both player 1 and player 2. I am my own straw man. Let's show the ripoff. Play as Asuka, a character who only appeared in this game before and after. An idea for a video of top 10 original generation characters in games. You never know. And I will wail on Shredder because that makes me put less inputs in the player 2 controller. Alright, here's the rip-off music.
Round 1. Fight!
The ulterior motive to showing this is here. Around here. I'm all about ulterior motives, man. You should know that by now. I wish the guy in the background would stop flipping me off, though.
Perfect!
Which guy?
Round 2. Fight!
Keijo attack. Have you seen this game before, Bradley, or no? I'm curious.
Perfect!
Yeah, I totally earned that perfect. I find this to be a pretty dark horse as far as the Ninja Turtles games go. I don't think it was very popular within its time, but as the world has turned, people seem to revere it more as being pretty decent for what is essentially a Street Fighter 2 ripoff. Just it's interesting to me because this came out like mid '90s when the more or less wore off. I'll see how far I get, but I'm both not good at this game and it is pretty difficult. I think even the Super Nintendo versions of Street Fighter 2 are easier than this. The dog outside that won't shut up. This is the Japanese version. They censor her butt action a little bit in the US version. I guess that was a little too suggestive. I think she wears slightly more clothing in the US version. Yeah, I could have sworn I'd shown you some footage of her before.
Round 2. Fight.
Who's the rock band playing? T-Rex. I can't read it. I really can't. It looks like some 80s hair metal business. Dizzy. I like it when I give dizzies and not when I get dizzies. The ass attack is her forward heavy kick. Command normal. Where at least says it's the Dino Saucers banned from the episode of Dino Saucers. Or maybe Dinosaur Jr. I never saw that show, guys. It'd be cool if I could get to a bonus stage. Anyway, Grant, were you amused by the Who plagiarism with the cafeteria stage?
Round 1.
I think the stage was cool.
Rising Thunder. Dragon Breath. Dragon Breath.
Oh, that's bad.
Rising Thunder.
I only realized that I didn't know Pinball Wizard as I thought I did.
Round 2. Fight.
The introduction of it is a pretty shameless plagiarism of Pinball Wizard. It later becomes its own thing. My friend Michelle did a very good guitar cover of the cafeteria stage sometime last year.
Round 3.
I'll need to share that with you guys eventually.
Dragon Breath.
Some of the attacks in this game are pretty insane. Like Michelangelo just shooting a green fireball up in there. It's nutty. That's bad, that's bad.
Rising Thunder.
I'm done for. Yeah, I might just stop here unless you guys want to see anything else. But yeah, don't despair. I should be back doing this either Tuesday or Thursday, and I'm still trying to get a new video finished.
Round one. Fight.
So no worries.
Rising Thunder. Dragon Breath.
Shredder is very similar to Bison.
Dragon Breath. You.
That's just what I seem to remember. Yeah, he's got the psycho punch and kick there. Got the charge attacks going.
Dragon Breath.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how the Pokemon Pinball stuff came out. I didn't expect to be having that much fun. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it night, guys.
Round two.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Check back Tuesday night. I'll send the links around. Shredder in his satin pajamas. I must have missed that episode.